What's up, guys? It's Brian, and today we are going to talk about the way that you can lose weight consistently, and I mean consistently, and then keep it off once you're ready to stop losing weight and just maintain, especially if you're very busy and career driven. And this video is not going to have any hacks or any quick way to lose weight or any hard set rules or anything like that. Those never work. You'll see them all over Instagram hacks. You'll see that on YouTube too. A hack is just a shortcut that is not usually sustainable and not a long-term solution. A lot of times those are band-aids for a specific situation, or it's just a fad like the whole ice bath thing. Adding in an ice bath isn't going to change your life. Neither are any of the nutrition hacks. So we're going to get down into the real stuff, the stuff that actually works, and how you can progress through that. So the first thing we want to talk about is specifically diet, right? That is the make or break for weight loss. There are other things you can do to help you out, but if your diet's not in order, there's nowhere you're losing weight. And even if you are losing weight without focusing on your diet, you're going to hit a wall eventually. So with our diet, I always like to start clients off with just focusing on protein. If we can just prioritize protein for most of our meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, protein, I always talk about it, keeps you full for longer, which is huge if we're trying to lose weight. It's also going to help you build muscle if you're working out, which is also great because that's going to boost your metabolism and help you lose more weight. So protein is king. If we want to lose weight, you have to be prioritizing that. Usually we want it to be about 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. 1.2 grams is pretty high. 0.8 is much more doable. You do the 1.2 if we are working out a ton, hitting the gym, lifting weights a lot. You'd want more protein to help with that recovery. But if you're at 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, so if you're 150 pounds, I think 0.8, let me pull up a calculator here in real time. 0.8 times 150 would be 120 grams of protein. I should have known that. I went to school for finance and couldn't do that math in my head. Shame on me. But it's 120 grams of protein. And if we're above 100, then we're doing a pretty good job. So prioritizing protein is the first thing that we want to do. And if you continue to do that, even without tracking anything else, you will start to lose weight, and you will consistently lose weight for a little while. And we'll talk about the next step. We have a few more things to do in this first step. So along with prioritizing protein, we also want to prioritize drinking water. I've talked about this before, but thirst and hunger get confused sometimes. So when you're thirsty and you go down and have a salty snack, you're still going to feel that thirst or hunger, whatever it is, and you're going to keep snacking, and now we're over on our calories. So anytime you feel hungry throughout the day, obviously not at your meal times, but any of the in-between times where you feel hungry, have a glass of water first or two. And if that still doesn't quench your thirst or satisfy that feeling, then go ahead and grab yourself a protein-forward snack. So there's some nuts with a lot of protein, protein shake, protein bars, jerkies, things like that. We want to stay away from crackers, chips, those snacky foods that have no nutritional value and are only adding carbs and fat to your diet. So stay away from those. Try to be protein forward with your snacks. But back to our first point with this, drink more water, and drink water before you eat any snacks always. And then the third thing we want to do with our nutrition is just avoid eating at bad food places. And I say bad, and what I really mean is fast food, things that are super calorie dense, but not nutritionally dense. So you're able to eat more because you're not satisfying that nutrition need, and you're adding a ton of calories. So if you just stay away from fast food, you stay away from anything that's super calorie dense, you're going to be in good shape. This goes for sodas as well. If we're having soda all the time, particularly the ones that aren't diet, you will have a hard time losing weight because it adds so many calories to your diet, so much sugar to your diet. So if you are kind of a an addict when it comes to your Coca-Cola, your root beer, your Dr. Pepper, whatever it is, go to the diet version. The diet version is a million times better. It has 0 calories. The stuff in it's still not like the best for you, but if we're trying to lose weight, it certainly helps if we can still have that fizzy drink that we like, and it adds no calories. So those are the nutritional things we want to do in step 1. The next thing we want to talk about is just walking every day. If you can accumulate 30 minutes of walking every day, along with those tips that we just talked about, protein, water, and then staying away from obviously bad foods, then we add in that walking, and now we're losing weight all of the sudden. So add in 30 minutes of walking every day, even if it's not 30 minutes straight. If you go on breaks throughout the day, I'm sure most of you are busy at work, you have kids, everyone's busy. Just find 10 minutes 3 times a day to go out, do a little walk around the neighborhood. That will make a surprisingly large difference in your weight loss. Now, step 2 of this, step 1 is if you're busy and we just want to start doing something and we don't want to add a ton of stress to our lives, right? Step 2 is when we're ready to take on a little bit more. So that's when we'll start to consider the other macronutrients. We start to track some other nutrients, carbs, fats, right? And seeing how many total calories we're taking in. Because eventually you're going to lose enough weight where now just tracking protein and keeping up on that is not going to be enough to sustain the weight loss. So now we have to track everything. And that's the next step, is just tracking macros, finding out what the correct macronutrient count for you is, and going from there. Now, you don't have to do this forever. If you do this for a few months, 3 to 4 months, you'll get a good gist of how much you're eating, and you'll be able to stop weighing, measuring, tracking every single thing, because you'll be a little more intuitive. But doing it for longer periods of time is going to get you better results always. It's just the tediousness of doing that. So that's why that's why I don't recommend that right off the bat, because it is very tedious. It is very time consuming. But it works 100% of the time, every time, if we're tracking macros, consistently progressing with those macros. And that is a giant step. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you can lose the weight without doing that, that's fantastic. But that is the way that you're going to lose the weight 100%, right? That's the only definite way. If you're tracking everything, we're seeing what the calorie deficit is, and then adjusting as we go. The next thing is adding in weight training. This one is also huge. It's also a huge step in terms of a time commitment if you're going from just walking to also adding weightlifting. But if we add that weightlifting in, it makes such a huge difference in terms of metabolism as we build muscle. You're also going to burn way more calories, and also and along with the mental and emotional benefits you get from physically exerting yourself in that way. So step number 2, we start to track all of our macros pretty tightly for a little while, and we add in some weight training. And then from there, you're off to the races. If you stick with tracking macros, you get to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe you add a 4th day because you're really into it, right? Now we're doing fantastic. We're probably at our dream body or pretty close to it, and now you just love the process and want to keep doing it because you've seen such good results. The other thing we want to do in step 2, and this is step 1 and 2, it really depends on your schedule and what you have the emotional and mental capacity for, and that's starting to track sleep. Sleep is huge when it comes to losing weight, but in particular building muscle. So as we start to add weightlifting days in, we need to be a lot more conscious of our sleep because of that physical exertion that we're putting out every single day. So sleep is obviously very important. I always want people to be conscious of sleep, but if we're trying to lose weight, step 1 and 2, or step 1, protein, water, walking. Step 2, now we're starting to add in other habits. So that sleep becomes very important when we start weightlifting. It allows us to recover, build more muscle. It also allows your body to continue to lose weight because that is a taxing process. Your body doesn't necessarily want to do it. We have to force it to do that. So sleep will aid in all of the above, health, physical health, emotional health, mental health. It's very, very, very powerful. So we want to make sure that we're conscious of that even in step 1, but we're really starting to track it and see how we can improve it in step 2. And then steps 3, 4, 5, 6 into infinity is just improving upon those things. You can get into food quality, like getting only organic, no chemicals, stuff like that. That can help, but it's not going to make as big of a difference as the other things we've already done. And then same thing with the weightlifting. We talked about that. You can add a bunch of days, not a bunch of days, but you can add some days of weight training to your week if 2 or 3 is not enough for you anymore. And then continuing to improve your sleep until you're 8 to 9 hours every night, like clockwork. If you're doing that, if you can build up to that, then you are going to be in very good shape. You are going to feel great. You're going to look great. Everything is going to be better. And there's no set timeline for this. I didn't give you like for 2 months do this, for 3 months do this, for 2 months do this. This is for the rest of your life. So you can take 6 months to work on protein, walking, drinking water. That is very, very important, right? And if it takes you 6 months, that's fine. If it takes you 2 months, that's also fine. Because in the grand scheme of things, 2 to 6 months, not a big deal. We just want to make sure once we start, we keep that momentum going. You want the next time you start to be the last time you start, right? And this is definitely a hard thing to do, to change habits like this, to lose weight. But if you start slow like we talked about, if you just add these little habits in and you build on that, that's how you have that long-term success. That's how you have that long-term confidence, because you've started something, you've stuck with it, even if it's small, and that gives you the confidence to add more things. And that will also lead to results, which will lead to more confidence, and you guys get the picture, right? We keep this ball rolling until it's this giant boulder that nobody can stop. So that is going to be it for me in this video. I hope you guys got some value out of this. I appreciate you sticking around to the end. And if you want some one-on-one coaching to help you get those habits lined up, get your nutrition, your sleep, your workouts, everything dialed in so you don't have to think about it, you don't have to guess if what you're doing is the right thing, I will keep you on track. You can click the link below in the description to book a call, and we'll set up the perfect plan just for you. No generic plans here, all custom plans. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.